Hey buddy, this is Stormy with the capital Z. Welcome to another WarCraft 3 audio commentary. This time around, we are going to be going over a game on Terenas Stand. This is game number 2 in a best out of 3 series between TZamid, who is also Krutonz, spawning as the red human player on the top left. He will be playing up against Fujino, who is spawning as blue Night Elf at the bottom right. Now, game number 1 was pretty intense. Hold on, I need to fix this a bit. There we go. So yeah, game number 1 was pretty intense. We had a scenario where both of the players were attempting a base race. They basically destroyed each other's economy, but it went into that spot where that time when that particular situation where who handled it better. So it's going to be Mountain King versus Warden. Oh, it's been some time since I have seen a matchup of a Warden versus Mountain King. Usually some people would tend to say that the Warden is a squishy of a hero against Mountain King. I know I did a cast a long time ago. That was actually a replay request. It was a part of my WarCraft 3 request series, and I found a game where basically a Warden got squished and the people were like, no, we don't want to see this. Then I looked for another one and I found a pretty interesting game where the Warden can actually stand and it can really do well versus the Mountain King. And yeah, what I was about to say, gotta be careful. Want to pull off that archer. You don't want that archer to take out the unit. Did it? It did. No experience on the Warden from that first creep. So that's some experience points lost with that, which he's never going to recover. A footman coming in, causing some chaos, causing some disruption in that camp, and the tree survived that little assault. Mountain King creeping up here, and I believe so that the Night Elf player has not scouted out the human player yet with any wisps. I don't see any planted wisps, some scouts anywhere at all. So at this point, I would assume that the Night Elf player does not know that he is facing a Mountain King, as opposed to the traditional choice of a Archmage. So he's going to be in for a surprise when he reaches there. Now he's going to have to creep a bit more, since he accidentally killed one of the creeps using either his big tree or the, what do you call it, static shield. Power building a farm. I guess he missed building a farm over there for a bit. And now, well, this is a time when you want to go for tier 2. Your opponent is already 25% done in his tier 2. Okay, just gonna kill the big guy off and run away with the item. We got the human player here, and alright, he does not want to go for tier 2. He wants an expansion, baby. It's going to be a 2-base human versus Night Elf. Now, I want to see how the Night Elf player responds to this. Does he go and harass the human player a bit? Does he train more of the stuff? Does he get a second AOW Mass Huntress production and then launch an assault? Or does he counter expand? Because you have some ways to do that, and WarCraft 3 today, as opposed to earlier, is more expansion heavy now. We are seeing players expand a lot. 10 years ago, they used to not expand like this. There used to be expansions. Well, the only race that used to, like, you would say, yeah, he's definitely gonna expand was human. But apart from that, the other races, they used to expand. Expansion always, like, expansion at least 60% to 70% of the games. No, that was not a thing back then. Now I'm afraid I feel that it is a thing, and you're seeing more and more expansion. The warden coming in, fan of knives, going after those peasants, got one, and I'm not sure whether he knows that there's a mountain king on the field. Going after the wrong target, if you ask me. This is a level 2 warden. He could have trapped the warden right there and then and stopped it from escaping. Now, and until the warden actually reached a higher level, it could not have had been able to escape unless and until it had something like, yeah, that potion of healing or TP to get out of there. But that's also one of those things that you want to waste of your enemy team, of your enemy player rather. Both players basically trading off units one by another. There could definitely be a bit more micro in this whole scenario, but well, who am I to say that? I have terrible micro myself. We had a little wand of mana steal by the human player, stole all the mana from the warden and then used that mana to deliver a stormbolt, forcing the Nightle player to retreat back. Going over the items a bit, we got the human player with his natural TP, of course, Mantle of Intelligence, Gauntlet of Ogre Strength, Rings of Protection. Now I gotta move to see this. Nope, still can't see it. Rings of Protection plus 3. Okay, now I can place this back in. Funny stuff. So that rings of protection plus 3, or rather the newly upgraded rings of protection, and Breath of Vitality, which gives you extra HP because being a Mountain King wasn't good enough. And oh, it seems like the warden infiltrated the human player's base. It is dealing with those peasants left and right, taking them out one by one. Fan of knives. Oh my god, devastating. Human player just lost the third wisp in this whole fight, and those wisps are pretty low as well. Like, one more fan of knives can actually deal a lot of damage. It's so close by. One more fan of knives. One more peasant bites the dust. Human player is in a good position to defend his base, but he lost a number of peasants over there. He got an expansion. He's got the expansion running, which is a saving grace for his economy, as the Night Elf player getting Demon Hunter as the second hero. Whoa. Well, that's an interesting choice. It's been pretty rare since we have seen these two heroes together, Warden and Demon Hunter, being picked up together. Both are agile, devastating heroes, you could say. Demon Hunter with its super DPS, mana burning ability, and the Warden, of course. And oh, gotta be careful, you don't want to lose your Demon Hunter. So yeah, Demon Hunter with its agile DPS and stuff, and the Warden with its infiltrative techniques such as Blink In. Of course, it has Shadow Meld. Of course, it has Fan of Knives and Shadow Strike. And you gotta be careful, man. You don't want to lose your hero to creeps. Like, that'd be like the worst thing ever for you. Mountain King. Now, this will be a mistake if he goes to creep this, and yeah, it's a mistake. Well, he doesn't want to creep it, it seems like. He just wanted to go in, get that Shredder, and well, he's gonna creep that anyways with that Shredder. Shredder is well, I'm about to say Anne, but that's not Anne, that's just bad English. Shredder is a unit that humans, I feel, can actually use to their advantage. It's a mechanical unit. It's immune to any kind of mana burn, Shadow Strike like attacks. Fan of Knives, no, I think Fan of Knives do damage mechanical units. Somebody wanna tell that to me in the chat if they know about it. Does Fan of Knives damage mechanical units? I don't know about that. So yeah, the Shredder is a pretty good unit if you ask me for a human player, and the reason being is that it collects the lumber. Well, of course, that's its main purpose, but it can also pack a punch, and it has fast attack. 34 to 61. Now that's a bit complicated thing, but it can actually deal a lot of damage if you use it as a military unit or a defensive unit. So suppose you have two Shredders and you go for a tower push. I feel the shredders can actually work out really well, especially with the fact that you can repair your shredders using your peasants. You know what? I'm gonna try that strategy. I'm not sure if somebody else has already done that. I'm not saying I made the whole strategy or something. I'm just saying this is something that came to my mind and I haven't heard it from anybody else yet. I'm gonna try out the strategy later on. Uh-oh, infiltrative Maiev coming in and dealing a lot of damage to those peasants. Going after the Shredder. Shredder is going to be taken out while the... Oh, well... Demon Hunter taken out by the Mountain King. And... oh, man. Mountain King and the Footmen, but those peasants, just look at them dying one by one. Human player's economy is hurt. He has an extra base, but okay, he has extra peasants on that base as well, which is not a good sign. So here's the thing. You got a second base, but you're only producing off of one of them because the other one is being devastated constantly, and you're basically working hard to get it back into the full functioning scenario. But as soon as you get it functioning, you still got that pesky warden coming in, and the human player dealing a lot of damage to that mountain giant. It would be a pretty shame if the mountain giant managed to escape. We got the CapitalZ, or rather the Blood Mage, coming in, transferring some mana to the Mountain King. Stormbolt, and that Mountain King will bite the dust, giving the Mountain King and the Blood Mage a lot of experience points. 75 experience. I believe the Blood Mage only just came out. I don't think it has experience from anything apart from that big guy. Although I have to be sure of that. Does it give you that much experience? That's a lot, actually, if it does give you that much experience. So getting resistance skin for those mountain gens, of course, and so far it's been a pretty interesting game. Night player has completed his expansion, and done creeping this camp. Got an Orb of Venom on the Demon Hunter. When the fight was going on, I was about to say something until the Demon Hunter died. You got 3 rings of protection on him, and he's got 10 plus armor. So Demon Hunter is no pushover. He already got evasion, but 10 plus armor, that's something OP. Demon Hunter with 10 plus armor, yeah, that's definitely OP if you ask me. And also you got the infiltrative warden that can blink in, blink out, and basically destroy everything you have. Now the warden is level 5. It's got Sabi Mask and Claws of Attack plus 6, which gives it that edge. Young player buying himself a Shredder again. We're going to be using that. Here comes the warden blinking in. Fan of Knives, Shadow Meld, and he's going to use the Fan of Knives right as it is done with the cooldown. There we go. And those peasants bite the dust. Now warden is taking feedback. It's got to be careful. Escaped. Nicely done. Now this is a scenario where it's debatable of whether you want to cut these trees or not. Although you still have some spots from where you can still arrive without the trees being cut and all. So in this particular scenario, human player has a lot of gold but is down on wood, and without wood he can't make those tier 3 units, those beefy knights, those beefy griffin riders. He can't make them. If you can't make them, well, you're not gonna win against an idle player like that. And this scenario, currently I would say the human player is not going for the right thing. You're against dryads, but you make a griffin aviary. Not a good move. Uh-oh, not looking good, and that Fan of Knives was kind of wasted. Used it at a bad spot. Probably a misclick. Draining all the mana from the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter level 3. A taunt being used there a moment ago. Fan of Knives, and GG by Tiz Madis. Fujino gets game number 2. Pretty interesting game. Pretty interesting game. Definitely more interesting than game number 1. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more. Join my Discord server. The link to it is in the description below. It's an amazing Discord community. And that's all then. Z out. Until the next cast.